So of everything we learned, right? Like kind of looking back, how can all this be used for coaching, right? Generalizations, distortions, like understand being able to identify all of these things. How can this be used for coaching? How is this helpful? You can just go ahead and unmute yourself. How can we use this in our coaching practice? Jocelyn?
This just helps you identify the excuses people will make for not doing something, or why they can't do something, or all of their limiting beliefs, and kind of turning it back on them.
Right. So correct. Right. And so and also when you say excuses, it's they're limiting, like another way to reframe excuses is limiting beliefs. Right? Because if they're making an excuse, it's because there's a belief that they have that's limiting them from taking that action. And they're expressing that in their language. Thank you, Jocelyn. Alyssa.
Back to what we talked about yesterday, and like part of the coaching, we have to find out what roadblocks that person has. And I think the neurolinguistics will help us figure out what mental blocks there are without them necessarily expressing them, so that like we can parse out by asking follow-up questions, so that we can create strategies around how to get around strategies around that.
Correct. Right? Like they're literally giving them away as they're speaking, in these incomplete ways. Instead of saying, like, I have a problem with self-esteem, you're going to be able to see that in the way that they express themselves. Absolutely. Magalis, how do you think this information can be useful in our coaching practice?
What I say here in the chat, I was writing in the chat.
I didn't
is a chat. Oh my God, I don't know. Can you see it? Can you see the chat? What I say?
Let me stop sharing my. No, I haven't. I haven't seen it.
Okay. No, I don't see what I wrote.
You want to just tell me?
Yes, what I say that for me, this is like a really very important, because as a mentors, I believe, no, because I'm not a mentor yet, but we can
Magalis, you are a mentor.
But not in the way that I want to. So like we can use this as a, how can I say, the first step to start engaging in a real conversation with our clients, that in this process we can discover who is this person, you know what I mean? Because that's what I believe, that we have to go deeper into the internal situation of how they thinking internally. So it's like a challenge, but if we can have a really good communication process, we can overcome those challenges in the beginning. Because to me, it's just like we really need to engage with the client since the first time that we try, you know what I mean? Because in that way, we're going to make sure that we're going to have the client coming back, because that's what I think, no? If you don't have really good communication process with the client in the first time, it's going to be really hard to keep them engaged with us, because
right.
No, right, maybe I'm wrong, but that's what I believe.
No. I get it. I hear you. So let me just make sure that I understood what you said, right?
Yes.
What you're saying is that what this can do is to make sure that we're having deep communication with our clients, so that they can feel heard from the beginning, from the start.
Yes.
And that you feel that this is going to help them to come back.
To come back, yes, that's what I want to say.
Okay, yep, I agree with that. So ways that how we can use this information with our clients is, remember that the meta programs, right? Meta programs are programs in our minds, equal the language patterns. Right? You literally give away what you believe through your language. And it's how you decide what you're going to do next. So if you have an incomplete belief, or you express incomplete ideas, it's going to be pretty hard for you to take the next step. You may take an incomplete next step, right? How many times do we like have an idea of something that we want to do and then we start it and don't finish?
Oh, you can imagine how many times.
Right. So
time.
you can see why, right? Like it all starts with like the way you think about something. Like it's literally like we think incomplete thoughts or debilitating thoughts. We express those through our language, and those who work with us have the privilege of having a coach mirror back to them, hey, like this is incomplete, like we need more information here. Because if people left to their own devices, unless they're super aware and super conscious, they take incomplete actions. It's like a half-assed job. It's literally what it is. So that's why, we have so many inefficient, so much waste in our lives, because we think incomplete thoughts, we say incomplete things, and we do incomplete things. Do you all see the connection? So even with yourselves, like when you can literally start coaching yourself when you're thinking about something and you're like, wait, but like this is why journaling is so important, because if you can see it on paper, you're like, wait a minute, I could totally be thinking differently about this. What other information do I need about this in order to switch my mind frame to a more positive one that is more conducive to what I want? And from there, start to generate the kind of actions, right, that are going to move you towards what you want. Because we truly are more powerful than we think we are. And so are our clients. So I just wanted to, make that connection for y'all. Also, with these, being able to identify these meta programs in our clients, it's really going to help us understand how they make decisions. Like what is this person's decision-making process? How is it that this person thinks? And that way be able to use it in coaching.